Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are digging into a really fascinating set of sources today. It's not just about a specific beauty service, but more about the strategic business model built around it. Specifically, we're focusing on the world of microblading. And we're using source materials provided by Bloomja Esthetics, which is a premier salon based in Athens, Georgia.
That's right. And they've been operating successfully since 2010, which says a lot.
It really does.
So our mission for you, the learner, is to get past that surface level. We want to analyze this really sought-after service microblading as a strategic, long-term investment.
Right, not just a purchase.
Exactly. We're looking at why certain businesses, like this one, succeed in what's a very competitive space. We'll be unpacking the 4 foundational pillars that really define expert microblading. And we'll also discuss the strategic thinking behind their big market expansion into Bogart, Georgia.
Okay, let's unpack that. I think we should start with the core problem that Bloom's is trying to solve. It's a struggle that I think a lot of people know all too well. They call it the daily brow battle.
That phrase is perfect, isn't it? It just encapsulates the fatigue. If you look at their blog content, they absolutely nail this frustration. It's that daily ritual. You know, the tweezing, the shaping, the filling.
The gelling.
The gelling, yes. Trying to get that symmetry, that definition every single morning. And it's not just the time, it's the mental load.
Exactly. You're racing the clock, trying to get that perfect arch, and then you spend the rest of your day with this low-grade anxiety. You're worrying, is my hard work going to run or smudge or just melt off in the humidity? That cognitive burden, it really adds up.
It absolutely does. So the solution they offer, microblading, is defined as a modern, semi-permanent eyebrow enhancement service. It's not tattooing in the old school sense.
Much more technical.
Highly technical.
Yeah.
They use a specialized handheld tool to carefully deposit pigment just into the upper layers of the skin.
And the key, from what I'm reading in these sources, is all about the precision, right?
Yeah, precisely. The whole goal is to imitate the appearance of natural eyebrow hairs. We're talking incredibly fine, crisp strokes. So the outcome should be brows that are fuller, perfectly defined, and framed just for your unique facial structure. They look natural, not drawn on.
So who is this for? I mean, who finds this solution the most compelling? Beyond just the person who hates that 5-minute morning routine, the sources point to some specific candidates.
Yeah, we can identify a couple of key demographics. First, you have the low-maintenance client, the one who just really values their time and is tired of the daily effort. But maybe more impactful are those who've experienced, actual feature loss.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we're talking about individuals who have lost eyebrow density, maybe from aging, medical conditions, or even just natural recession over time. For them, this isn't an upgrade, it's a restoration. It brings back their natural definition.
And that transition from a daily frustration to a lasting restoration, that's why the sources frame this as a strategic investment. It's a total mindset shift.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, the investment goes way beyond the immediate cosmetic result. That initial cost, it basically buys you out of that time-consuming repetitive process for up to 2 years.
That's a long time.
It is. It's a calculated exchange. A lump sum payment now for guaranteed results and, just as importantly, time savings later.
Let's talk numbers on that time saving, because that really makes the value proposition clear. Let's say you spend just 5 minutes every morning on your brows, which is probably conservative for a lot of people. What does that actually look like over the lifespan of the microblading?
Well, that's where the compounding interest, so to speak, comes in. 5 minutes a day times 365 days a year. You're looking at over 30 hours a year.
Wow.
Over the 2-year lifespan of the service, that's 60 to 65 hours that you get back. The sources rightly stress that this is hours, even days of your life returned to you. That's a huge return on investment when you're measuring your most valuable asset, your time.
Okay, but I have to play the skeptic here for a second, especially if we're calling this a financial investment. In the beauty world, trends shift constantly. So if someone invests a significant amount in a certain brow shape today, is there a risk of buyer's remorse if, say, brow trends completely change in 18 months?
That is a crucial question. And it speaks directly to why Bloomja emphasizes customization over just following a trend. Their whole strategy mitigates that exact risk. They reject that stamped-on trend look. The materials show their focus is on designing brows that perfectly complement your facial structure, your bone symmetry features that don't change with trends.
Ah, I see.
By prioritizing that natural enhancement, the design they create is timeless, not trendy, and that protects the investment.
That makes a lot of sense. It's an investment in your own structure, not in a temporary fashion. And we shouldn't ignore the purely financial side of it either.
Absolutely. Think about the hidden costs of the old way. When you factor in the recurring expense of high-quality brow powders, pencils, gels, those specialized brushes, and you have to replenish those every few months. Over a 2-year period, microblading becomes a surprisingly smart financial choice. It moves that expense from a continuous cycle of buying things to a single, predictable line item.
And that predictability is huge for anyone who's budget conscious. But the sources make it really clear that the most profound benefit, the one that truly defines their service, it isn't about time or money.
No, it's not.
It's the psychological payoff, the ultimate elevation in confidence and self-esteem.
This is the core of their brand strategy. The whole service is framed as restorative self-care. For people whose features may have faded, or for those who feel self-conscious about sparse areas, getting that definition back instantly impacts how they face the world. It's a reduction in daily vulnerability. I mean, they're selling a feeling of completeness, of self-assurance, and that goes way beyond just aesthetics.
This deep focus on personal outcomes and restoration, not just chasing trends. That brings us directly to the 4 explicit pillars of service that set Bloomja Aesthetics apart. They are actively rejecting the idea that microblading is just a commodity.
And what's fascinating is how these pillars form a competitive strategy against, the cheaper, less professional services out there. They are adamant that professional microblading is a custom art form, the complete antithesis of a mass-produced solution. I love this quote from the owner. She says, "Brow design is not a one-size-fits-all art."
That says it all. So let's detail those 4 standards they've staked their reputation on. First up is safety.
Safety is paramount. It has to be the foundation. This means adhering to the absolute highest professional and hygienic standards of care, which is critical in a semi-permanent procedure, right? It establishes trust immediately.
Okay, second, and this goes back to what we were just talking about with mitigating trend risk, is customization.
And customization is the artistry. This means the practitioner is designing a brow specifically calibrated to highlight your unique facial features, your bone structure, your natural hair growth patterns. They are not using generic stencils, they are engineering the brow for the client.
Okay, third, we have longevity. This is the practical delivery of that whole investment promise.
Exactly. This requires using high-quality pigments and, of course, expert technique to make sure the results are durable. They have to last so clients can enjoy them for that full duration, up to 2 years, which maximizes the return on their initial spending.
And the final pillar, which really ties all 3 of the others together, is achieving natural-looking results.
This is the execution benchmark. It takes meticulous skill to imitate those natural hair strokes so precisely that the result just enhances your existing beauty. It makes the brows look fuller, more defined, but not artificial or obvious. And that's the difference between a good investment and, frankly, a wasted one.
And that commitment to high-quality long-term care, it seems to extend far beyond just eyebrows. It reinforces their overall expertise. Let's look at the full suite of services they offer.
Yeah, the broader service portfolio shows they really understand the client who's looking for comprehensive, high-standard cosmetic care. They offer specialized skin correction treatments, for example, things they call banisher treatments, which are designed to target scars, skin texture issues, and deeper imperfections.
It's about significant dermal repair.
It is. And their advanced facial offerings signal a real commitment to cutting-edge technology, not just manual artistry. We see that in treatments like BB Glow, which uses specialized tinted serums to create a flawless, luminous complexion. It's almost like a semi-permanent foundation finish.
And nano-infusion.
Right, and then there's nano-infusion. It's a technique that uses advanced tech to infuse restorative serums deep into the skin, maximizing rejuvenation and hydration way beyond what you could get from just applying a cream.
So this comprehensive portfolio, all built on those 4 pillars, it explains the track record we see in the sources. Bloomja Aesthetics has been a stable fixture in Athens since 2010. That's more than a decade of stability and client trust in a really competitive market.
And that established presence, that reputation, it's the platform for their next big strategic move, expanding their service accessibility to the Bogart, Georgia community.
And this wasn't a random decision, was it? The sources show a clear market rationale. They identified a growing, untapped local demand in Bogart for high-quality, certified microblading and skin services.
It's a very proactive market move. By expanding service availability, they're tackling one of the biggest deterrents for suburban clients seeking high-end services.
The commute.
The long and inconvenient commute into a busier city center like Athens. They're solving a logistics problem for their clients.
So the convenience factor becomes part of the luxury experience. The owner really put this into context in the press release. She said, Bogart is a vibrant town rich in culture, and it's high time we bring our specialized services here. That speaks to a genuine desire to serve that specific local market directly, not just wait for them to travel.
And if we go back to our investment analysis, this expansion adds another layer of savings. Not only does the procedure itself save you time, but by making expert services locally accessible, they save clients the expense of gas, vehicle wear, and wasted commuting time. It's about optimizing the client's entire journey from start to finish.
It's really clear that their strategic success is rooted in quality, customization, and now geographical convenience. The sources do emphasize that while they are serving the Bogart community locally, their primary hub for services is still at 435 Hawthorne Avenue in Athens.
Which makes sense. Maintain a central location while expanding that regional reach. So what does this all mean for you? This deep dive shows that microblading, when it's done professionally and strategically, is so much more than an aesthetic trend.
It's an entire business model.
It's an effective business model built on those foundational commitments of safety, rigorous customization, and longevity. The sources paint a picture of a business that understands that time and confidence, those are the ultimate forms of currency.
An investment that pays you back in measurable hours and, well, an invaluable boost to self-assurance.
You've heard how strategic beauty services can save time, money, and profoundly boost confidence. Now, I want you to consider the ultimate utility of this investment. What meaningful passion, personal project, or even just restful pursuit could you dedicate the hours, even days, that you get back every year by eliminating that daily brow maintenance ritual? That is the real value of outsourcing your beauty needs to experts.
If you are ready to begin that journey and maybe explore how strategic cosmetic care fits into your life, we have the information you need right now. You can call or schedule a personalized consultation to discuss your specific beauty goals. The number is 706-818-1780.
You can also visit them online. You can explore the full range of services available for both the Athens and Bogart areas at bloomjaesthetics.com.
And the physical address for their professional services is 435 Hawthorne Avenue, Athens, Georgia. Get the time, the money, and the confidence back that you deserve by making a smart long-term choice. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive.